byproducts of our environment. Hello everybody, Tom here. I hope you're all keeping well. I want to talk today about how we are all products of our environment. Literally, byproducts of our environment. Now, some of you might think I'm trying to discuss the genetic idea here. You know, that human beings, when they evolved, were nomads. They would wander the earth looking for different lands. They'd experience a different climate. And that's why we see different races in the world. Okay? That is very much a fact that the byproduct of our environment and our climate makes us what we are. Example, I'm English, I'm from Britain, I'm in the northern hemisphere, and I'm quite far away from the equator. Hence why I am typical, perhaps, of that area. That's the variety and spice that we've got. However, what I want to talk about specifically is how the environment we grow up in or are used to can also shape our attitudes, the way we live our lives, our sense of morality, moral compass, the lot. Very simply, and this is the easiest way to describe it, I myself, from my own personal viewpoint, I feel like I've been quite lucky. I've been born into a family, whereas I'm the eldest child of three. Yes, I have a brother who is just under 3 years younger than me. I also have a sister who is near enough 7 years younger. And I'm the eldest. So if you go back to what family life was like for us growing up as children, sure, we weren't rich, but we certainly never did without. And credit to my parents. You know, there was always food on the table. And we usually went on holiday. Not always, some years we couldn't afford it. But the point I'm trying to make is my experience, my environment being like that, being quite stable and quite steady, has moulded me a little bit in the way that I am. Some people don't get that choice, sadly. Some people, they grow up in extreme poverty. They experience hardship. They have bad role models around them. People that won't encourage or help them. And I'm going to give you an example here. Very famous singer, the rapper Eminem, was very poor in the early days of his life. Extremely poor. So much so that he has become accustomed to not spending large amounts of money. There's a particular story where he wouldn't purchase a watch without speaking to his manager, even though he had enough money to buy it. Because in his head, he's always had to be careful with his money. He's always had to be thrifty, cautious. So that's made him that way. And the same is true of people who've perhaps grown up with abusive parents and stuff like that, this is awful. I don't wish it on anybody. But they've had that tough existence, that tough life. They probably grew up maybe in a tough town as well. And that's made them very tough. That's made them very different. The biggest example I can give of somebody I know is a personal friend of mine who, again, was the eldest child. He had a brother, a bit younger than him, similar age to my brother, actually. And he grew up in a part of Wolverhampton in England that was notorious for being very run down, very depressed area. And the family didn't really have much in terms of money. And he was very, very careful because he had to be. And despite his environment, it's not turned him in any way bitter or strange or, you know, bit bad, shall we say. He's one of the kindest people I know. And he understands what it is to have good manners and decency. And you can find sometimes that somebody born into very little have a really good heart usually. It can be said that having a lot or having so much sometimes can make you very unappreciative and a little spoiled. But this is all examples of how we are products of our environment. I'm going to leave you with this phrase, which is out the famous song by Baz Luhrmann, and think of what I mean by this. He says in the song Wear Sunscreen, he says very kindly, he says, go live in New York City waters, but leave before it makes you too hard. Go and live in Southern Californian waters, but leave before it makes you too soft. And the point he's alluding to there is that we are products of our environment, absolute byproducts. And I see it all the time. And I think we as people need to accept others having a different life experience. And I wouldn't say give them a free pass, not at all, but definitely try and see it from someone's point of view and see it in their shoes if they've had a much different experience to you, come from a different background. If we can do this, then maybe we can have a little bit more understanding and meet with compassion, not fall out, not disagree so much, because not everyone's experience is the same, and that is the beauty of life. Guys, first of 3 videos, I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. First of 3, as I said, please put down in the comment section below, do you believe we're all products of our environment? Do you see where I'm coming with this? I'm not talking about literally, like genetics wise. Of course, that is part of the equation as well. I'm talking about how living in having a rough life experience or living in a rough area can make you, in a way, the way you are. Whether you like it or not, you probably don't even realise it, but it will and it can. Just bear that in mind. Please, if you would, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I'd be really grateful as well if you consider giving me a thumbs up and a like. Thank you very much. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. Back in a couple of days with another video. But until then, please all of you take care of yourselves and bye for now.